These days, more and more people are opting to change things about themselves with cosmetic surgery, whether that be major or perhaps more commonly minor procedures. Well, cosmetic treatments have become more common, more accessible, but also more affordable, especially if you're willing to travel overseas for it. Well, new research reveals that more Brits are happy to take a flight in search for cheaper surgery. But of course, it doesn't come without risks. The most sought-after procedures can be anything from dental work, breast enlargement, tummy tucks and hair transplants, all surgeries that, of course, goes without saying, needs to be carried out safely and by professionals. Now, the research shows that those people who travelled abroad, up to 54% wish they'd done more research. 36% agreed the money saved wasn't worth it. Well, let's talk to Onyinye Ebizie, a clinical negligence lawyer who hopefully can help us out a little bit with this. Really good to see you this afternoon. Are you surprised by the results of this survey, that so many people are unhappy with the results when they travel abroad for this sort of surgery?
No, I'm not surprised, because we get the inquiries and the claims from people who have gone overseas to have surgery and they've had results that they're not happy with and have caused them, symptoms and injury. So the results don't surprise me.
Looking at injuries here, I mean, is it sort of wound infections or something more serious?
They tend to be more serious if they do come to us to seek legal advice. We've had breast lifts which have resulted in nipples being put in the wrong place, and we've had tummy tucks which have resulted in my client having to have a life-threatening infection and life-saving emergency surgery once she's got back to the UK. So we've had a variety of quite serious injuries that have resulted from cosmetic surgery overseas that hasn't gone as planned.
Where do people stand legally with all of this then? I mean, we know action can be taken if something happens here in the UK, but when we're talking about surgeons and clinics and procedures, in a different part of the world, that surely has to make it a bit more complicated.
It is more complicated, but there are firms that deal with this, and at Slater & Gordon we do have a travel litigation department where we deal with cross-border litigation, so we understand the complexities and are able to deal with claims where the accident has happened overseas or the surgery has happened overseas. We can deal with it as long as the claimant is resident in the UK.
What is the main driving force? I mean, from the people you've talked to who've been pursuing claims, what has been the driving force of them going abroad? Is it simply down to the cost? It is a lot cheaper.
Yes, that is it. Simply, it's because it's cheaper. It's around a third of the cost.
But I guess with it, and I'm sure it doesn't apply to everything, and I know that there must be an awful lot of people who go out, have this work done and are perfectly happy with the results, but I can't help but think you sort of get what you pay for a little bit with this, even if you're just paying for a bit more security, guaranteed professionalism if you have something done in the UK.
I wouldn't really want to make any recommendations as to whether someone should have cosmetic surgery here or in the UK. It's usually an economic decision to go abroad and to go overseas and have surgery. So the overheads tend to be more over here. Things are generally more costly in the UK, and then that's why it is more expensive.
So what's the best advice for anyone considering any of this from a legal perspective? I mean, presumably it is about research, it's about, looking at who exactly is doing the procedure, looking for, recommendations, all those sort of issues, I guess.
Yeah, we can't really recommend or be part of the decision-making process or the picking process as to where someone will have surgery. There's risks of surgery anywhere in the UK as well. So it's just like you said about doing your research. And I would recommend, or we do recommend, that you take before and after photos. And if you do have any worrying symptoms, you seek urgent medical advice. And then if you feel at that stage you want to make a claim, then you can contact ourselves or any firm that specialises in medical negligence claims abroad.
Yeah, good advice. And plus, Onyinye, it's worth saying we want to see fewer men walking about with Lego hair, don't we? That's never a good look. I get a smile out of you. It's true, though, isn't it? I must confess, I had a bit of deck chairs moved about on the Titanic a few years ago, up in Manchester, actually, and it was more expensive, but at least I knew what I was getting, rather than the Lego hair. You see a lot of men with Lego hair. It's never a good look. Onyinye, really good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.